Balikbayans. When I say Balikbayans, I'm talking about former Filipinos. So Filipinos who were born natural Filipinos but got naturalized as a foreign citizen in a different country. So they're no longer Filipino citizens. They are now holding just foreign passport and they haven't or did not or will not apply for dual citizenship. No? So they are foreign citizens but they are former Filipinos and they are eligible for Balikbayan privilege. Now, Balikbayan privilege is a privilege exclusive to Balikbayans and their families, foreign spouse, foreign children of former Filipinos and Filipinos traveling with them. When they enter the Philippines, they are given the Balikbayan stamp in which this gives them 1 year visa-free entry and stay in the Philippines. So a former Filipino is a foreign national. What is the difference between a regular foreign tourist and somebody who's availing the Balikbayan privilege? Well, if you're entering visa-free as a regular foreign tourist, you're only, most of it, majority of the countries, will only be allowed to stay here in the Philippines for 30 days. Let's say you're an American, you're a Canadian, you're Australian, New Zealand, UK national. You can only stay in the Philippines for 30 days. That is the allowed initial stay for foreign tourists, 30 days. And another thing is that you must be fully vaccinated to enter the country, and then you must show a return ticket or an exit ticket of not more than 30 days. It is a proof that you won't be overstaying in your allowable stay. While for Balikbayan privilege, it's 1 year stay, and then you are exempted from showing a return or an exit ticket. So if you're covered by the Balikbayan privilege, you can just enter with a one-way ticket. Now, this Balikbayan privilege is fantastic. However, your responsibility is just to show proof that you are eligible for it. So for former Filipinos, that is your old Filipino passport. No, it doesn't matter how old it is. It doesn't matter it's expired. That's the point. It's an old Philippine passport. It's a proof that you were once a Filipino citizen. While another choice is if you don't have a Filipino passport, an old Filipino passport, you may show a PSA birth certificate, a birth certificate showing that you were a natural-born Filipino. As I mentioned, it comes with perks. Again, if you are covered by Balikbayan privilege, you do not need to show return ticket. You can enter the Philippines with just a one-way ticket. Although many can testify that their old Filipino passport was no longer checked. According to Big Will, I just got back in the Philippines and when I went through immigration, I requested Balikbayan status and they looked at my US passport, country of birth, which stated the Philippines and gave me the Balikbayan status. They didn't ask for birth certificate or old Filipino passport, which I had both on me. And a lot of you can agree. You enter the Philippines and nobody asks for that old Filipino passport or birth certificate. Yeah, most times nobody asks. Especially when the immigration officer sees that you're a Filipino and you speak Filipino, they won't bother. Yes, immigration may be lenient, but not airlines. Sometimes the airline crew is strict. When the airline staff assigned at the check-in counter is a foreigner, how would they know that you're a Filipino? Even if you look Filipino or you speak Filipino, how would they know? Well, they could look at my passport. It would say there I was born in the Philippines. Well, not everybody who is born in the Philippines is a Filipino. Take note of that. And I want to share the experience of Carol. This shows proof that indeed there are times when you have to show the old Filipino passport or birth certificate. Let me share the experience of Carol. Hi, Jennifer. I just want to thank you for your tips and tricks. It made our trip to the Philippines painless. Thank you. So Carol with her family flew with American Airlines in Asiana on a one-way ticket to the Philippines. She says, we traveled to the Philippines via American Airlines on July 6. Sure enough, American Airlines was not up to date on the Philippines entry requirements. We got to the counter and the staff required us to show a negative test result. She started reading off some outdated guidelines from IATA. We had to educate the staff that the requirements had changed and the Philippines only requires one health pass. After some short confirmation and verification with a supervisor, we were cleared. Yeah, see? If you know the rules, nobody can mess with you. Let's continue. On to the second leg with Asiana. Again, they had a one-way ticket. We got to the counter and the Asiana staff was asking for a return ticket. We told her I am coming home on a Balikbayan status and a return ticket is not required. Next question, can I prove that I was a former Filipino citizen? And there you go. Oh, I was ready, according to Carol. Pulled my old Filipino passport and voila, worked like magic. They checked and that was the end of the story. No more questions. Boarding pass issued. I was ready for them should they have questioned my American husband. Got a copy of my marriage certificate with the original. So we just want to thank you for kababayans. Okay. Yeah. It happens. It happens. Na may time po talaga na hahanapan ka ng proof of being a balikbayan. Whether that's an old Filipino passport or birth certificate, or if you're a foreign spouse, a marriage certificate, and if you're a child, a birth certificate, it's impossible. It could happen to you, like what happened to Carol. So if you have it po, I strongly encourage you to please bring it. If it turns out that nobody asked it, then that's good. At least you had it. Wala kang iisip, hindi ka mag-worry. So the importance of having a proof. If you're coming without a return ticket or is planning to stay longer than 30 days, I strongly suggest to bring the proof so that you are not classified as a regular foreign tourist, but rather a balikbayan. And you don't want to hassle, just if you're staying for less than 30 days, then no problem. Kahit wala ka pa ng balikbayan, if you don't have a proof, okay lang. Basta if you're staying naman less than 30 days, because then you would have a return ticket talaga. And another option, instead of getting a PSA birth certificate, if you ever need to have a return ticket, ASAP, you can order online. Maraming services online. Onwardticket.com. bestonwardticket.com, I heard. So there are options if you want to show a return ticket. Just in case the airline asks, if you're coming with a one-way ticket and you don't have a proof of being eligible for balikbayan privilege, like an old Filipino passport, birth certificate, then you can simply order online po on onwardticket.com for just $14. Or you may simply buy a cheap throwaway ticket, Manila to Singapore or wherever in the world, kahit saan. Or book a refundable ticket, cancel it within the day. So there are options. Pero if you have the proof, just bring it. That's all about that. The message is, it's possible na hanapan ka ng proof. It's possible. Hanapan ka ng airline. So be ready. That's all about this video. God bless you all.